So there's a couple properties that I want you to be able to understand to be able to solve a problem like this. The first one is going to be the one-to-one property. If I have any base raised to a power that's equal to the same base raised to another power, x is going to equal to y. Now, this is the one-to-one property for exponential equations, and there's also a one-to-one property for logarithmic equations. So again, whenever we have a logarithm equal to a logarithm, no other extra fluff going on. Like you have to have log equal to a log. They have to be isolated and they have to have the same base. Then you can say the argument of each logarithm is going to be equal to each other. So this one looks pretty close. We have a log equal to a log. They're isolated, but the bases are not exactly the same. We like the arguments are both x's. Like that kind of looks good. I can do something with that. But I have a 5 and 25. This only works when the bases are the same. So we have to go and pull out the book here of rules of logarithms. We find one more rule that's going to help us be able to solve a problem like this. And basically this just states that if I have a log base b of a, that's going to be equal to the log base b raised to the n power as well as a raised to the n power. And again, you can just go ahead and solve these separately like equal to x, and you'll see how exactly this is going to work for this property. But this is very, very important. And so what it means is I can take my base, raise it to a power, as long as I do that same thing for my argument. Now again, like if I have a logarithm equal to a logarithm, I'm trying to achieve them having the same base. However, what can I do to get them to be the same base? Just go ahead and raise my 5 to the second power and then raise my x to the second power. Because now 5 squared is equal to 25. So now I have a logarithm of 25 equal to a logarithm of 25. That means the argument of both of these equations is going to be equal to each other. So now I have an equation x squared equals x plus 1. When you have an x squared and you have more than one x term, right? You have an x squared, you can see here I have a linear term as far as x. Then what we want to make sure is we get it all to the same side, set it equal to 0. So therefore we can factor it, apply the quadratic formula, or completing the square. So automatically, I'm doing some factoring in my head, right? I'm trying to see what two numbers multiply to give me -1, right? Which is really -1 and 1, that are going to add to give me -1. And I realize, crap, that's not going to work. So therefore, I need to remember another property here, which is going to be quadratic formula. So I'm not a big stickler for having students memorize like a lot of formulas. I think the one-to-one property is pretty like important. I think that's something you should like kind of keep in your back pocket as like your little tool checks. I think quadratic form is the same thing. Like I think, you know, especially in upper level mathematics, or at least like above in high school, like this is something that you should not need a formula sheet for. Like we use the quadratic formula, or you should be able to, you know, use it quite often that you can quickly relate to it. Let's go ahead and find the solutions here by using the quadratic formula. So we're going to use the opposite of b, right? So it's going to be a +1. My b squared, which is going to be a -1 squared, which is really just 1, but let's write it out for sake purposes, or for counting purposes, I mean. And a is 1, so everything's 1. So there's a 1 there, a 1 there, that's a negative, and that's a negative. All right, so what we get here is a 1 plus or minus. Let's see what we get here. So we have a 1 squared minus a -1, so that's going to be 5 all over a 2. Now, depending on where you are in your math journey, you might recognize the positive form of that. But if you do recognize it, then let me know down in the comments down below. See how many of you are paying attention. But the one I want to focus on is actually the -1. Because we have to remember something about logarithms, right? We cannot take the logarithm of an argument that is negative. So what I want you to recognize here is that when I do the square root of 5, 2 point something, right? Well, 1 minus 2 point something is negative. Divided by 2 is still going to be negative. And look what happens. I can't plug in that solution into there. So therefore, this is what we're going to call an extraneous solution. So therefore, our only answer here is going to be a 1 plus a square root of 5 divided by 2, which again, check the comments to see what that number is. But hopefully this video was helpful for you. It gave you some value. And if it did, then check out the next video I have for you here.